Enjoy the ride, my friends.
Signing off, your long gamer.
The Rock is playing us all like fiddles, and very recently indeed, he's been dropping some pretty subtle clues hinting at the unthinkable. He's got me thinking this way because of those two quotes at the start of this very video. We started out with a clear vision that factored Cody Rhodes out of the WrestleMania 40 main event, but from that press conference in Las Vegas onwards, it feels like those who want to see Cody potentially finish his story are no longer being rock blocked by the Great One, as the People's Champion is proving he is just that, by being a massive dick. You see, by turning into a dick, it's clear he's listening to your reactions. He's reading the overwhelmingly negative reactions to most of his social media posts since the February the 2nd episode of SmackDown. He's probably been pulled to one side and told the YouTube video of that segment now has 700,000 dislikes and caused the We Want Cody hashtag to take over everything like a rampant Brahma bull in a residential home for the elderly. Oh, the scenes are very ugly. Most importantly though, whether it's his decision or somebody else's, the story WWE have been telling for over a year at this point is being put before The Rock, and in the process, as the man himself said on the February the 16th edition of SmackDown, he's bringing out a side of himself that we haven't seen in years. It was also during that February the 16th episode where that saucy devil was dropping hints at how the main event match at WrestleMania 40 will go down. We started the night's Blue Brand show by thinking that two Samoa Man power trip are hell bent on taking over WWE together for the family and all that kind of stuff. But now coming out of the show and the Raw after it as well, we find ourselves with a few clues that potentially hint at Rock and Roman's relationship maybe not being as solid as a Dwayne. You see, on SmackDown, Dwayne said The Rock is going to do everything in his power to make sure you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser. Go back and look at that part of that segment from SmackDown, the one where Rocky brought back his $500 shirt vest hybrid and started addressing everybody like a dick, and you'll hear him addressing Cody Rhodes at the start of the sentence. This makes Roman Reigns look away from The Rock because he knows what's coming, or so he thought in his head. His big cousin is going to make a threat to his WrestleMania opponent. But look at who Rocky is not only looking at, but also pointing at come the end of the sentence. He's looking at Roman saying, I'll make sure you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser. Rock knew Roman was looking away. Rock pointed at Roman. So what could this mean? Well, I've got to ask you a question. Remember when The Rock walked to the ring back on the February the 2nd edition of SmackDown? He locked hands with Cody and he said a few words in the American Nightmare's ear. A moment, by the way, that made Cody Rhodes laugh when he was otherwise so visibly dejected at what was going on around him. So Dwayne must have said something pleasing in that moment, no matter how saddened Cody looked on his way back up the ramp that night. Is there a chance then that those two there are the two-man power trip of this situation, Dwayne and Cody, and it's actually Roman who by the end of the night at WrestleMania 40, when The Rock has obviously seen off the customary interferences of both Solo and Jimmy Uso, he's the one who's on his Isle of Isolation, which is just next to the Isle of Relevancy, but it isn't as good. This segment was cinema, as the kids like to say, because the camera work was potentially very, very telling indeed. For a period of time, the shot is solely on The Rock. And then, when he says, you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser, it changes to that shot there, where you can see The Rock is pointing at Roman, and Roman isn't aware. As soon as that sentence is over, we're back to that one shot of The Rock on his lonesome. I believe they call that dramatic irony in the trade on Roman's part, and I know that because I got an A at GCSE Media Studies, so I'm in the know. Then Rocky goes on to say, Cody, your story is just ending, and our story, the one with The Rock and Roman, is just beginning. Now, I don't know about you, but we all know there's only one way where Cody finishes, keyword there, finishes his story, and that's winning the title that was on his daddy's mantelpiece for a short period of time before it wasn't. There is no other ending to that story, and surely Dwayne knows this. He's going to make sure that Cody finishes his story, and in turn, he's going to start a story with Roman that sees them go on to have a match at next year's WrestleMania or something. He's saying this right in Roman's face, but under the guise that it's something that Roman wants to hear. It's four-dimensional promo chess, and it's unbelievable scenes. Rock even dropped clues as to how the finish of this year's Mania match could go down when he continued in that SmackDown promo. The Bloodline, the most powerful, dominant duo in sports and entertainment, and of course, the WWE. The look on Jimmy Uso's face changes at this point, as The Rock has just completely overlooked both he and Solo Sikoa and disregarded them as bona fide members of the Bloodline. Can you believe it, everybody? I wouldn't be shocked to see those two interfere on behalf of Roman, only for The Rock to make the save for Cody, or maybe even Jimmy and Solo will make the first move on The Rock because of that line in the promo that disregarded them as members of the Bloodline. You've got to think that Solo Sikoa especially, who hasn't been getting the same attention nor affection that Jimmy Uso has from Roman Reigns over recent weeks, will be sick of that kind of bollocks, not only from Roman Reigns, but also now from The Rock as well. Because of course it would have been easy for Dwayne, a member of the TKO board of directors, to say, I'm The Rock, I'm the most famous man in the world, I'm on the board as well, I'll fight me cousin at WrestleMania in the main event because I can. But long gone are those seismic few days when Rocky was handed his new TKO role and Cody appeared on that February the 2nd SmackDown to announce that he wasn't going to challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and move his own goalposts because of conversations he had with other people that made absolutely no sense whatsoever. All while he was giving his marching orders out of that ring on that February the 2nd episode of SmackDown and made to look like a massive dirty cook, while Dwayne took his place not only in the ring, but at that time also seemingly in the main event of WrestleMania as well. This can't be something that is taken away, and at the time it was a really bad look for Cody. However, and this is only a however we can use now after seeing how a Rock heel turn has unfolded since, nothing was actually announced outside of Cody not wanting to challenge Roman at WrestleMania on that SmackDown. Rock and Roman merely looked at each other, and that was it. WWE were actually quite wise in hindsight in leaving what looked like at the time The Rock politicking his way into proceedings as open-ended as they did. But back to dem clues, and the final clue, and perhaps the biggest one of the entire segment if The Rock actually meant it, was that if he meant to stand off to one side so the rest of the Bloodline couldn't really see or focus on his hand and then hold up a massive L, I've got a little thing in my hand here, so I'll do it that way. Whoa! Not only hinting at what might happen to Roman and Solo and Jimmy at WrestleMania, but also making a little callback to that loser line from the promo he just cut where he pointed at Roman. Well, if he did mean it, it was bloody brilliant. And I do say if he meant it there, because I do believe there is a chance that The Rock just did the wrong hand signal there, based off the fact his promo on that February the 16th episode of SmackDown was a bit off in places. Cody's just announcing himself as Roman's opponent, and that's not how it works. Is that right? Is it, Dwayne? Cody didn't win the Royal Rumble and didn't earn another shot at Roman Reigns, did he not, Dwayne? He was off in places, and this L could be one of those places where he was off, and it could mean that maybe he won't be aligning with Cody and setting up a match with Roman down the line in the process. But by the way, that would be a very good way for Cody to finish the story. A title on one arm, Dwayne, the biggest star in the world, on the other arm. Imagine the press Cody Rhodes will get from that situation. It's mainstream, baby. That's just as long as Cody is the one who is actually doing the moves that leads to Roman being pinned. Don't overstep your boundaries, Dwayne. We saw how that one ended the first time with a big dirty hashtag. It was absolutely horrified. But hey, of course there is a chance that absolutely nothing I've said today will actually mean anything by the time WrestleMania 40 rolls around, because come that Sunday night, Roman's reign will be at 1,316 days, and Hulk Hogan's, the next in the pantheon of longest single reigns ever, is 1,474 days. They might just have Roman hold on to the title so he can surpass old Terry, meaning Cody could come back next year for another go. I hope not.